What if everything you were seeking, love, purpose, peace, even freedom, wasn't something to be found, something to be remembered? What if the person you've been waiting for your entire life was you? This isn't just a poetic idea, it's a spiritual wake-up call, a lightning strike to the soul, a radical invitation to peel away the illusions, the stories, and the masks, and finally come home to yourself. It's not here to give you 10 steps to happiness or a blueprint for success. It's something deeper, something raw, intimate, and unfiltered. Doubt, restlessness, the kind of ache you feel when you know you're meant for more, but can't quite name what more even means. It reads like a conversation with the universe, and at the same time like a whisper from your own heart. You Are the One by Kute Blackson isn't your typical self-help book. Blending spiritual truths with gripping personal stories, Kute pulls you into a journey of awakening that doesn't start out in peace or clarity. It starts with pain. And in that mirror, you don't see someone broken. You see someone becoming. You see the one you've been waiting for. This book matters because it doesn't promise perfection, it promises truth. And truth, as Kute shows us, is not always clean or easy, but it is liberating. That was the beginning of his rebellion. Not loud, not angry, but honest, silent, dangerous. At age 8, he was ordained, not asked, not guided, declared. So why is You Are the One unforgettable? He devoured books on psychology, philosophy, mysticism. From Krishnamurti to Malcolm X, he started questioning not only the role he was given, but the very foundation of belief. One day, standing before his father, he made the choice that would define the rest of his life, because it holds a mirror up to the parts of yourself you've ignored, denied, or forgotten. Let's begin the journey. Kute Blackson was born into a world of faith, pressure, and paradox. His father, a revered spiritual leader in Ghana, ran over 300 churches, no to the identity that had been assigned to him like a costume, and was considered a miracle man, a healer, a prophet, almost superhuman in the eyes of many. From a young age, Kute stood on stages, preaching to thousands. People applauded. Elders nodded. The crowd believed he was chosen. He calls this the soul's knowing. But deep inside, he felt something else entirely. A quiet voice whispering, "This isn't your truth." He didn't know what his truth was, only that it wasn't this, just a deep, primal knowing. The truth is worth everything. But what if we're waiting for a rescuer who will never come? But inside the chaos, something else was growing. A quiet strength, a flickering flame of intuition. His father had already decided his fate, that Kute would take over the family's spiritual empire. But the boy inside was restless, curious, hungry to explore a world beyond sermons and temples. What is freedom when you're living someone else's dream? People chasing dreams that weren't theirs, relationships that numbed instead of healed, careers that looked impressive on the outside, but felt hollow on the inside. Not just as a memoir, but as a spiritual roadmap, showing how real transformation often begins when everything else falls apart. Not physical ones, mental ones, emotional ones. The prison of shoulds and musts. The walls built from fear, guilt, and the need to be accepted. There, amidst the chaos and color of the East, he finds clarity. As Kute reached adulthood, the weight of obedience began to break him. He said no to legacy.
How to know?
To the expectations of family. In that single moment, he stepped into exile. Emotionally, spiritually, physically, his father disowned him. The community turned away. The safety of his old life shattered. It's the silence between the noise. It's the realization that the divine isn't out there. It's here. Now, in breath, in choice, in presence. But here's where the story deepens. Because Kute didn't just walk away. He ran toward the unknown. He boarded a plane to America with no money, no plan, and no guarantees. What followed was not a glamorous rise. It was messy, lonely. He slept on couches, ate scraps, worked odd jobs. He began to listen. Not a giving up, but a giving in. A falling into trust. Not to the voices of the world, but to something deeper. The inner compass that doesn't shout, but always points true north. This is where You Are the One truly opens up. Kute realized that so many people live in cages. But what if the only prison is the one we don't know we're in? He speaks to the pain we all carry, the silent scream of "I'm not enough," the fear of being rejected, the desperate search for someone to finally choose us. That's the soul of his message. No one is coming. And that's not a sentence of despair. It's a doorway to power. Because once you realize that no one is coming to save you, you stop waiting. You become the one you were waiting for. As Kute began working with people, one-on-one, in groups, in seminars around the world, he saw the same patterns repeating. And behind it all, a deeper truth. We are terrified of our own greatness. Because owning your truth means letting go of your excuses. It means facing your trauma, your patterns, your pain, not with judgment, but with radical honesty. At the midpoint of the book, Kute shares a moment that feels like a heartbeat of the entire journey. He visits India, not to escape, but to deepen. It isn't the monks or gurus that transform him. This is not about becoming something more. It's about remembering who you already are. But to do that, you must die. Not physically, egoically, emotionally, spiritually. You must let go of who you think you should be, so the real you can be born. Not that, as Kute writes, is the ultimate surrender, not trust in the system or others, but in life itself. This is where the story turns. From a personal journey of rebellion to a universal path of liberation. And the question becomes clear. Are you brave enough to face yourself? Are you willing to let go of the lies you've told yourself, to finally become the one you truly are? This is not a journey for the faint-hearted, but for those ready to awaken. It is the beginning of everything. From the dusty backstreets of India to the buzzing chaos of Los Angeles, Kute Blackson's journey is not about escaping the world. It's about returning to it with new eyes. After India, everything begins to shift. There's no more running, no more hiding behind the illusion of control. What Kute discovers, and what You Are the One so powerfully teaches, is that life is not meant to be controlled. It's meant to be lived, fully, fiercely, truthfully. But because she doesn't believe she's worthy of something better, he begins helping others awaken to this same realization. Not by fixing them, but by holding a mirror to their soul. There's a woman who can leave a toxic relationship, not because she loves the man. There's a man who's climbed the corporate ladder, amassed wealth, but wakes up every morning numb and empty, a king in a golden cage. Time and again, Kute confronts the same human wound, the belief that worth must be earned, that love is conditional, that joy must be deserved. But the truth is simpler and far more revolutionary. You are worthy, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. Numbing it with distractions, burying it under achievements, outrunning it with busyness. Outrunning not something to chase, but something to remember. This is where Kute introduces the most radical idea in the book, that pain is not the enemy. In fact, pain is the portal. We spend so much of our lives avoiding pain. But pain, raw, honest pain, is where the healing begins, because it cracks us open, brings the hidden to the surface. It shatters the illusions we've mistaken for truth. One of the book's most powerful stories centers on Kute's reunion with his father, the very man who disowned him, but he gets something deeper. The understanding that forgiveness isn't something you receive, it's something you give. Not because the other deserves it, but because you deserve peace. After years of silence, his father falls gravely ill. Kute returns to Ghana, not as the rebel son, but as a man who has finally found peace within himself. He becomes a guide for anyone brave enough to ask the hard questions. Who am I really? Why am I here? And what would I do if I stopped being afraid? What unfolds is not just reconciliation, it's revelation. In his father's final days, Kute doesn't get the apology he once craved. He forgives not just his father, but life itself. Chasing goals that aren't theirs, performing roles they never chose, the pain, the rejection, the loss, all of it had a purpose. It led him here, to this moment, to this truth, but to awaken. But she wept in silence every night, not because she was empty, but because she was full of everything except her truth, fierce, beautiful clarity. Your past does not define you. Your wounds are not your identity. Your soul is bigger than your story. By now, the book isn't just a memoir. Kute invites readers into a practice of radical self-inquiry, not the kind found in therapy sessions or weekend retreats, but the gritty, everyday discipline of living truthfully. He says the reason so many people feel stuck isn't because they lack ability, it's because they lack authenticity. They're living lives designed to impress others. They're quiet, still, sacred, a call not just to wake up, but to rise up. Somewhere in the performance they lose themselves. But here's the catch. Your soul can't lie. It will ache. It will whisper. It will disrupt your comfort with restlessness. And eventually, if you don't listen, it will break you. Vulnerability is power, and love, in its purest form, is not a transaction. It's a transformation, not to punish. Kute shares the story of a client who had everything: beauty, fame, followers. He helped her let go of the brand, the noise, the masks. And what emerged wasn't weakness, it was fire. Because when you stop trying to be someone, you finally become yourself. Toward the end of the book, Kute offers what feels like a crescendo. He says the world doesn't need more followers, or gurus, or perfect people. It needs real ones. People who dare to feel deeply. People who love without conditions. People who take off the armor and show up with their hearts open, even when it hurts, because truth is magnetic. The closing pages of You Are the One aren't grand or loud. Kute reminds us that the ultimate journey isn't outward, it's inward. It's not about adding more to your life, it's about shedding everything that isn't you. The lies, the guilt, the fear, the illusion of control, till all that remains is your essence. Naked, radiant, free. You are not broken. You're not missing anything. You are the one you've been seeking. And now finally, you remember. At the heart of You Are the One is not just a story, but a soul. And that soul belongs to Kute Blackson. He is both the author and the central character, but he never pretends to be a hero. His power lies in his honesty, in his willingness to bleed on the page, to expose his contradictions. A towering figure, both literally and symbolically. His father is a man of deep spiritual conviction, immense charisma, and unshakable discipline. But also a man who demands obedience over understanding, tradition over truth, and to hold nothing back. You don't admire him because he's perfect. You trust him because he's real. It forces him to choose between legacy and liberty. That choice, painful and costly, is the beginning of everything. His relationship with his father is one of the most emotionally charged threads in the book. This father-son tension becomes a crucible. It burns away the false self Kute had been taught to wear. But You Are the One is not just about Kute. It's about all of us. They're invitations, each one whispering the same sacred message. Come home to yourself. Because in every story he shares, whether it's a client battling self-doubt, a seeker lost in the noise, or a stranger aching to be seen, we recognize pieces of ourselves. We see the masks we wear, the fears we feed, the truths we bury, and through his lens, those shadows aren't something to be ashamed of. The book is layered with recurring themes, but 3 rise above the rest. If your life feels wrong, it's because somewhere you've made peace with a lie. It comes from what we refuse to release, the roles, the expectations, the past, the need for control. Whether it's the job you hate, the relationship you've outgrown, or the identity that no longer fits. The first step toward freedom is to tell the truth. You make space for who you're meant to become. It's what we are, but we've forgotten. 1. Radical truth. It's a practice, a way of living, a moment-by-moment choice. To return to the truth that we are lovable, not because of our achievements, but because of our existence. Kute doesn't tiptoe around it, he writes. You cannot be truly free as long as you are being who you think you should be, rather than who you are. That line, simple but piercing, captures the essence of the book. Truth isn't a destination. 2. Letting go. So much of our suffering doesn't come from what we've lost. Kute teaches that surrender is not weakness, it's the ultimate power move. Because when you let go of who you think you are, back to soul over ego, purpose over performance, presence over perfection. 3. Love without conditions. This theme runs like a current beneath every chapter. Love is not something to chase, earn, or fear. The journey, then, is not to find love, but to remember it. And in that remembering, we heal, we reconnect, we come alive. Quote that echoes this truth. The real miracle is not that you are alive, it's that you are aware that you are. In a world obsessed with doing, achieving, and proving, you are the one calls us back to the art of being.
Yes.
And in doing so, it doesn't just change your mindset, it changes your life. Some books inform you, some entertain, but then there are the rare few, the sacred few, that awaken you. Kute Blackson's You Are the One is one of them. This isn't a self-help book wrapped in trendy words and motivational fluff. It's a spiritual map drawn in blood, loss, rebellion, and deep surrender. A reminder that the life you read chasing is not out there. It's inside you, patiently waiting beneath the noise. If you've ever felt like you were meant for more, but didn't know where to begin, if you've ever looked at your reflection and wondered, who am I really? If you've ever felt the tension between the life you're reliving and the life your soul is begging you to create, then this book isn't just a recommendation. It's a lifeline. Kute's message is not that he has the answers, it's that you do. You are not broken. You don't need fixing. Only need to remember who you truly are, and then have the courage to live from that place every single day. This book is a mirror, and sometimes the mirror shows things we don't want to see, but it also reveals the power we've forgotten we have. So if you're ready to stop playing small, to stop apologizing for your truth, and to finally come home to the fire inside you, then You Are the One is your next step. If this story moved you, challenged your thinking, or simply sparked your curiosity, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Every click helps us bring more powerful stories like this to life and keeps the wisdom flowing. Thanks for being part of the journey.